So what's a good score on the SAT? Well, it really depends on where you're trying to get into school. At the very lowest end of the score, we have 600, which means that a student scored 200 across the board for all 3 sections. At the upper end of our curve, we have 2,400, which would mean that we have a really smart person who got an 800 in each of the 3 sections. And then from there, we have a whole bunch of people who are neither at 600 or at 2,400. The idea with the bell curve is that there are very few people scoring above 2,100. Likewise, there aren't that many people who are scoring below 1,200. What we have is we have a whole bunch of people scoring basically between 400 and 600. So if you're trying to figure out what a good SAT score is, it really depends on the college that you're applying to. You know, if we're looking in this range, where we have the 97th percentile up to the 99.999 percentile, these are good scores for a school like Yale or Northwestern or Stanford. If we look at our scores in this range, which would be 600s across the board, that would give a student an 1,800. You know, this is not quite the top tier colleges, but still really good colleges. On the other end of the spectrum, 15% of the students score 1,200 or below, which is not that many. Okay? The average is the 50th percentile is going to be roughly 500 across the board for a 1,500. So your SAT score, as I said, is really dependent, or it's more important to know which school you're applying to before you worry about how your SAT score is. If you're applying to the most difficult schools, you're going to have to be above 2,100 most likely. If you're applying to kind of a big state school, you can probably do fine in this range here, you know, the 1,500 to 1,700. Very few schools will admit somebody scoring below 1,000. And we'll leave it at that.